All right, it is 8:16 p.m. at night. Oh, damn. Okay. I'm making this video because I reached out to, and I mean a lot, a lot of fellow TIs out on YouTube. Okay, I did. Now I did this, and I'm hoping everybody else is doing the same, because there are many other TIs out there who don't even know anything about these methods that we're using to expose these illegal operations. There's many other TIs out there that have absolutely no clue. So I'm hoping everybody's doing the same. And look, your all you gotta do is type in the name of your state and then gang stalking. Okay, type both of those in, or just type in gang stalking in whatever state you're in. Just type that and do a search, and you should be able to have an easier time finding many different target individuals in the same state you are in. So this is me making an awareness video about that to help you, find them. Also, what I wanted to start doing, right? I wanted to start making like a playlist to where I can have this stuff sectioned off to help other TIs be able to connect better, because that's the only way we're going to be able to end this for good, man. And honestly, as long as people at least see the methods that we're using to, to gather this evidence to expose the targeting, the more and more we people, get to do that, the better, because that's what's going to lead into basically putting an end to this, criminalized organization for good. However, that doesn't mean they're not going to fight to keep control. They definitely are, and they're definitely going to get even more desperate by the minute. They are, trust me. But for any new TIs joining the channel, if you want to see the methods that I'm using, I definitely owe SH_P many different things, because it was because I heard that I even found out about any of these methods, and then I was able to help spread the awareness out to other fellow TIs, and they were able to do the exact same, and so on and so forth. It's just, and you see, we got to keep that trail rolling. We got to keep that going, so everybody who is a target individual will be able to help in this, because this is the only way it's going to be able to stop. If you're not aware, the UN has acknowledged abuse of DEWs, directed energy weapons, does exist. They have acknowledged this. They have admitted to this, that this is definitely happening. So if anybody's basically trying to discredit you at this point, understand that they're basically paid opposition. That's just the basis of that. Some people may not just be well aware, who are not involved in in your targeting. They may just not be well aware of what's really going on. But you see, this is why it's important to be able to have undeniable evidence of what is happening. I highly advise you, don't just stick to just putting your evidence on YouTube. I put all of mine evidence on YouTube to give many different TIs a little bit of hope that this is something you can definitely expose. I did it also out of my safety, because let me tell you something. The camera right in front of my front door there, they replaced that with a camera that they're using. So the situation on my side of town is definitely dangerous. But I was able to get down to the bottom of all of this and find out exactly who was responsible for my targeting, who's funding it, and who has been behind it. Now, unfortunately, I've been a target individual since I was a child. This is involving both from my grandmother and then on to my mother, and now it's on to me and possibly my sister. But I have absolutely no idea, because I have not heard from her in quite some time, and I can't even imagine what even my brother is going through. But considering where he's at, it cannot be good. Now then, what I wanted to do, I want to make one thing clear. I am in no way, shape, or form asking for my channel to be promoted. That is not what I am doing, okay? It's not self-promotion. I just want fellow TIs to be aware of the methods that are on my channel, that I was able to get from Miss SH_P's channel. If you're wondering how to get to her channel, don't worry. One of my few videos down below in the list has a link directly to her channel. You'll be able to find it there. Either that, or you can scroll through the comments. I'm pretty sure if she sees this, she would be kind enough to at least leave a message. That way, it'd make it a lot easier for them to make it to your channel. Either that, or I probably will just leave a link in the description. So I'll do that as well. Just, just so everybody will be able to find it. Now the methods now here's the thing. I've been able to track where these perps are at. I've been able to find out where they're coming from, where they're going to, and actual evidence that they are stealing the data from my network, from my devices, mind you. And not just this, but I was able to also find out who are they directing this data to, as well as finding the locations of where these these towers are, what they're using, as well as these other equipment that they're using, the low emission equipment that they use. And yes, they do use low emission equipment in your targeting and when it comes to you being hit with the DEWs. Now, not every targeted individual is submitted to DEW torture. Not every one of them, but you best to believe me, if you are a targeted individual, most likely they will do that. And apparently this whole thing works in stages. What they try to do is covertly gaslight you, and then it starts to get like I believe like they just try to make assessments on like your daily activities and stuff like that, like certain things that you like, certain things that you do. Believe you me, they even go as far as to even go in your home. Yes, they do. These are really truly the new age of peeping times. I am not joking about this. Many other people who still think that targeted individuals may not be that this might not be a real thing, I guarantee you it is. If you need proof, before you try to debunk anything, take a look at the channel. All the evidence you could possibly need to see is all there for you to see of what is currently happening to me even now as I speak. They don't want this out. And let me tell you, they really don't want this out because they've even stooped to using my own family against me. So the only way for them to even be safe is for me to basically end this program for good. And it's not even just for them. It's for everybody else, too, especially fellow TIs. There's so many people who have suffered for so long, but I know better. They can threaten as many people as they want, but it's not going to stop. That's, me just bowing down for that. That's not going to stop this. They're going to continue doing what they're doing regardless. And that's why I can't stop the fight. I can't stop the fight. I got to continue to fight. It's no choice in the matter. And that's just how it is. That's how it is for all of us. A lot of helpful methods you'll find on this channel, as well as you may have also watched one of my previous videos on how to deal with the PTSD. That is a very important thing to watch. Why? Because if you are being hit with the DEWs, little did you know there are things, even with the device that you are currently holding to watch this video, that are programming you. The blue beam effect needs to be turned to more of it. Your screen's brightness need to be turned to a yellow tint. How do you do that? And I'm going to keep mentioning this every time until people understand this. You use Comfort View that could be found in the settings of your phone. If you can't find it there, you can go to the App Store and basically get you can basically get an app to do the same thing. It's important that you do that because what that stuff does, the stuff that you're eating, little did you know, there is actual genetic when it comes to GMOs and a lot of this other food that's out there. Nearly every single grain of food is laced with nano. They use this stuff, which is basically smart dust, to do what? As an attempt to control you. This is why they use the gaslighting tactics to trigger PTSD, to trigger post-traumatic stress. Now then, it's a lot of detoxification methods are all on my channel. I highly advise you all, if you are being hit with DEWs, definitely, and I do mean definitely, make yourself an anti-nano bucket. That is very important. What that will do is it'll drain all that nanotech out of your system. If you even watch some of my other videos, you'll see some of the shielding that I've made. You'll even come across some of the other things that I have done all on this channel. You'll even come across a link to my other channel, which is MM's TI Strategy Guide. This video will be the introduction that I do to the new TIs that I have reached out, who are both in this area and all over, when I went out of my way to basically leave messages to basically inform people. I highly and hope you do to whoever TI out there who you know, who you're associated with, to let them know about this as well, so we can spread awareness, because that is the key factor here right now. We have what we need to put a stop to this. We have the methods to expose these gang stalkers. We have everything we possibly could need. The only thing we need now is to spread this awareness of these methods to as many TIs as possible, so we can finally end this, so people don't have to be attacked by DEWs. Now then, the UN has already ended accepting applicants testimonies for their for the investigation. This ended on the 21st of last month. But that doesn't mean that that's going to be the end, and that doesn't mean you're not going to be able to submit your case. You will still be able to do just that. But what they need to do as of right now is to utilize the cases they have already, taken in. This is a time for many different TIs to go out and use these methods to gather the evidence they need. So when that time comes to where you can pull forward with your evidence, they can't deny a damn thing. Understand, if anybody who you are associated with is basically discrediting you, most likely that is paid opposition. They're paid to basically lie and try to gaslight you the entire time. Trust me, I've had my own family do this, okay? My own family did this. No joke. And it wouldn't have been the first time. Now, the first time this happened, I didn't have any type of methods that basically exposed this illegal operation. So out of fear for them, I backed off and just stopped having contact with them. Unfortunately, they saw what I was going through. They saw that I was proving it. And I even got as far as to even find out precisely the people who are responsible for setting this whole thing up. And what happens? Well, they end up getting to my cousin with that smart dust stuff, and apparently and unfortunately, they tried to get her to gaslight me. So I had to I can't trust them at that point. I can't. But you see, my family likes to drop hints of what's happening, and that's what I'm really grateful for. So I am no way in shape or form mad at them. But unfortunately, there is some family members within the family that actually are catering to get me killed. No joke. Now, I'm not in fear. I'm not saying I'm in fear for my life, and I don't even recommend anybody to be in state of fear, because that's what the enemy wants. This whole thing that they do, understand, if they really wanted you dead, they would have long since did it already. The whole thing is to get you in a state of fear. When you're in a fearful state, you're much more easier to control. Let me tell you something. This realm, this way of life we're living in, there's much, much more after it, okay? A lot more than anybody can ever imagine. A lot more. The whole thing of what this government and these illegal operations have been doing is trying to blind people for many years. There's much, much more beyond this reality we are in. So when it's your time to exit this reality, whether it be from age, whether it be an action, you need to understand you cannot exit it with regret. You cannot exit it with greed. You cannot exit it with, both greed, regret, and hate. You can't exit it with those things. Why? Because those are the things that keep you chained down to the foundation. It's something that, that keeps you bound down because of its fixation. You need to be able to grow beyond all of that. But you see, you notice how like these gang stalkers operate, how they do things to get you to hate, how they do things to get you mad and angry. They want you in a state of distress because it makes it that much easier to control you. That's precisely why they do it. They do it to trigger PTSD. They do it to trigger a whole lot of stress. Here's the thing. Nano is a lot easier to get out of your system if you do the yellow tint method. And little do other fellow TIs know, did you know that this actually, because of the elixir that I use, I could literally feel it draining Nano, the smart dust, from off of my head, okay? I could literally feel it just falling off. Gang stalkers were going crazy when this was happening, okay? They were going mad crazy. So then, if you want to know what the elixir is, just check out the last video. Also, I want to give out TI's a warning about this because they did this to a targeted citizen. So I want people to understand when you see that there's a 0 view count or anything, don't react to it. Don't. If you see that there's no likes or anything like that on your channel, it's been like over an hour or so since you've done it. Do not act out about that. Don't. What you do, you get yourself a screen recorder, right? You get yourself a screen recorder, and you can also start utilizing screenshots. The best thing is a screen recorder because at least you can record that and also scroll down the top so you get both the date and time. That's what's important about that. So understand that YouTube actually is involved with shadow banning people's channels. It makes it that much hard for you to get subscribers, and it makes it that much harder for people to be aware of even when you bring up content, because when your channel starts to grow, they start to really mess around at that point. They really do, because they do not want any of this information out. They do not. So anyway, that'll be my introduction. I do intend to do the same to find out many, many more TIs, especially. I highly recommend even the TIs who I've already since met to do the same. Type this in, gang, the location you're in, and then gang stalking, okay? Do that, and you should be able to find other fellow TIs within the same area. Now, unfortunately, some of the TIs who I've messaged haven't made a video since last year, so I have no idea what happened to them. I just don't know. I can only hope that they still somehow get that message, but if not, then there's no telling what happened. My prayers are with you all. Stay safe. Stay strong.